Italy's government crumbled on Wednesday when three of Draghi's main partners snubbed a confidence vote he had called to try to end divisions and renew their fractious alliance. Draghi, an unelected former central banker who has led a broad coalition for almost 18 months, tendered his resignation earlier on Thursday in a meeting with Mattarella. He had tried to reassert his authority as parties began to pull in different directions before the planned end of the legislature in the first half of next year. But three parties, Silvio Berlusconi's Forza Italia, Matteo Salvini's Anti-Immigrant League, and the populist Five Star Movement opted to sit out the vote, saying it was impossible to recover the trust lost last week. The political crisis has upended months of stability in Italy, during which Draghi had helped shape Europe's tough response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and had boosted the country's standing in financial markets. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked Draghi for his unwavering support. "I am convinced that the active support of Italian people for Ukraine will continue," he said on Twitter. Draghi drew warm applause from lawmakers when he made a brief appearance in the lower house of parliament on Thursday. Based on current polls, a rightist alliance led by Giorgia Meloni's Brothers of Italy, a post-fascist party, and including Forza Italia and the League would comfortably win a snap election if the three parties can get along. Number 2. Key Russia-Europe gas pipeline reopens but outlook unclear. Natural gas started flowing through a major pipeline from Russia to Europe on Thursday after a 10-day shutdown for maintenance, but the gas flow remained well short of full capacity and the outlook was uncertain, which leaves Europe still facing the prospect of a hard winter. The Nord Stream 1 pipeline under the Baltic Sea to Germany had been closed since July 11 for annual maintenance work. Amid growing tensions over Russia's war in Ukraine, German officials had feared that the pipeline, the country's main source of Russian gas, which recently has accounted for around a third of Germany's gas supplies, might not reopen at all. But the gas deliveries that were arriving still weren't enough to resolve Europe's energy crisis, and officials suspect that Russia is likely to disrupt supplies further. Robert Habeck said the reduced supply speaks a clear political language and confirms that we can't rely on deliveries. "The outlook is simply extremely volatile," said Klaus Müller, the head of Germany's network regulator. "We must save more to get through the next 2 winters well." Russia's state-owned Gazprom reduced the flow through Nord Stream 1 by 60% in mid-June, citing alleged technical problems involving equipment that partner Siemens Energy sent to Canada for overhaul and couldn't be returned because of sanctions over Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Number 3. Rishi Sunak, Liz Truss, and the UK Prime Minister elections. Former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak and Foreign Secretary Liz Truss will battle it out to become Britain's next Prime Minister after they won the final lawmaker vote, setting up the last stage of the contest to replace Boris Johnson. Sunak has led in all rounds of the voting among Conservative lawmakers, but it is Truss who seems to have gained the advantage so far among the 200,000 members of the governing party who will ultimately choose the winner. The final stretch of a weeks-long contest will pit Sunak, a former Goldman Sachs banker who has raised the tax burden towards the highest level since the 1950s, against Truss, a convert to Brexit who has pledged to cut taxes and regulation. Whoever triumphs when the result is announced on September 5 will inherit some of the most difficult conditions in Britain in decades. Inflation is on course to hit 11% annually, growth is stalling, industrial action is on the rise, and the pound is near historic lows against the dollar. Britain under Johnson, and aided by Truss, also took a hard line against Brussels in its post-Brexit negotiations around Northern Ireland, drawing legal action from the European Union and threatening future trade ties. 11 candidates originally put their names forward, but in a fifth and final ballot of Conservative lawmakers on Wednesday, the junior trade minister Penny Mordaunt was eliminated. Sunak won 137 votes, versus Truss's 113, and Mordaunt's 105. Polls show Truss would beat Sunak in the party members' contest, opening up the chance that the party elects a leader who was not the most popular choice for lawmakers at Westminster.
Thank you for watching All That Happens. Remember to like and subscribe. And we hope to see you next time.